Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another election prediction video. This time we're doing Joe Biden's best case scenario against Donald Trump in the 2024 election. So I recently did a Trump best case scenario. Now we're just going to do a Democratic landslide prediction. So going into this could result if Trump goes to jail. If one of those cases just convict him and send him to the jail, then Biden could easily get his best case scenario. So again, that's a realistic possible path that this could generate here, but again, those dates are just looking more and more unlikely, those trials. But let's see here. Did I set up all the safe blue states? No, forgot Colorado, New Mexico, and Virginia. The best case scenario, these states are just locked in with their Democratic landslides here. Okay, let's go into it. We're going to start in the northeastern states. So New Hampshire, already Biden's up by like 7 or 8 here in the polls. So in his best case, he wins over enough undecided, so he could easily make New Hampshire an over double-digit state of like a 10 or 11-point victory. That could easily happen. Maine, I could see it happening. Again, Maine's second. It is trending Republican here and there. But with Maine, yeah, in a best case scenario, I could see it happening. Not with Maine's second district, though. It'd still be a lean Republican district after all. And Nebraska's is two competitive districts. Nebraska's first could get down to likely Republican, and Nebraska's second in a best case scenario would probably still be like a 9-point victory for Joe Biden. So in that likely margin of victory. Even in a best case scenario with Biden, Iowa and Ohio are still just likely Republican states. I don't see them getting more competitive for Democrats at this point. I just kind of see the opposite. These states are just becoming more and more Republican. Even in a best case scenario for Biden, these states still remain in that column just due to the Republican trends here. In the state of South Carolina, again, Trump only won this state by about 11 or 12 back in 2020. So in a best case Biden scenario, he could be able to drag the state to a Trump 8 to 9-point victory here. In the state of Florida, again, there's just so much party registration numbers going against Democrats in this state that I'm pretty hesitant putting it as a lean Republican state. Maybe Biden could drag it down to like a 4.5% victory in a best case scenario. That's kind of where I have it. Could potentially happen if he does amazing with independent voters, but typically Republicans win over independents in Florida. But in a best case scenario, Biden probably be able to get it down to like only a 4-point Trump win. With Texas, I just still seeing it as a Republican state. Trump's mostly ahead in the polls by like Republican margin, so best case, Biden will be able to drag it down to a lean Republican margin at this point. Even in a jail time scenario for Trump, he'd still probably end up winning Texas at this point. Even with all the urban trends going well for Democrats, there's still a lot of rural population here in Texas that are trending more and more Republican. Like these 85% Republican counties, they're continually growing to like 90% ones in the trend so far. So Republicans still have room to grow in a lot of these rural counties in Texas, and there's a whole lot of them here. The state of Alaska with ranked choice voting, yeah, I could see Biden bringing it down to a lean Republican margin. Probably not enough to win it, but then again, if Trump were to go to jail, then maybe Alaska could flip. That's a good. Hmm. I'm thinking about it. I could see Biden winning this in like a best case scenario for him, but I still kind of just doubt it. I still think Trump would probably ended up winning it by 2 points or so, even with ranked choice voting going well for Biden. Maybe if it was a younger Democrat, it would be able to flip in a best case scenario for them. All right, let's see here. States of Nevada and Arizona, it would still put these lean blue states in a best case scenario for Biden. He would win over most independents here, but he's still pretty behind Nevada and somewhat behind in Arizona. Let's see. The Rust Belt states, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. Minnesota would still be about a likely blue state. Michigan, he is behind here, wouldn't be a likely blue state. Pennsylvania, some polls of the best polls show him narrowly ahead here. So I would still just put it as lean blue. I don't think even in the best case it would be likely blue for him. Same with Wisconsin. Best case, he would win it by 2 or 3 points, like Pennsylvania, which is about 3 or 4 point victory. Michigan, 2 to 3. And then these last two states of North Carolina and Georgia. Yeah, in his best case scenario, he would probably end up winning Georgia. But North Carolina would only be a super, super narrow victory. Again, he's quite behind in North Carolina, even compared to Georgia. But I could still see him winning it in a best case scenario for himself. Maybe he whittles down Trump's lead, wins over those independent voters again. North Carolina was a tilt Republican state back in 2020. So he could pull that off, especially if Trump gets like sentenced to jail or something. That could definitely hurt him with independents, fracture a lot of his support. With Georgia, he won it back in 2020. So in a best case Biden scenario, he'd be able to win it again with a more increased black turnout. Again, Georgia is getting more and more diverse as a state. A lot more black voters are moving to the state, especially in the Atlanta and some suburbs are just shifting the state more and more blue over time. But currently, right now, this is a stretch to say Biden wins by this margin, but this is just a best case scenario video for him. So that's pretty much what this video is about. Other than that, let me know in the comments if you would change any of these states in a Biden best case scenario. Do you think I'm being too favorable to him? Do you think I'm being too unfavorable? But other than that, just let me know what you think of this video. And if you're new to the channel, highly recommend subscribing if you enjoy political prediction videos like this one. Other than that, thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you all in the next video.